Now, for more on the Refugee Forum, VOA's Lisa Schlein joins us by phone from Geneva, Switzerland. Good afternoon, Lisa.
Hello, Esther. How are you?
I'm good. Now, how significant is this forum in addressing the world refugee crisis?
It's very significant in the fact that some of the most powerful leaders, both government and political leaders and people who are involved in major humanitarian and faith-based and civil organizations are gathered here at one table in order to discuss the refugee crisis, which is huge. There are more than 25 million refugees in the world. Most of them are stuck in areas and countries and refugee camps in poor countries with no prospect of returning home at any time, and they are seeking solutions.
Now, Lisa, we know that refugees have been viewed very negatively, and I'm just wondering what's the impact like when you listen to those speaking today in trying to give refugees human dignity?
It's interesting that you bring up this point because, as you say, attitudes around the world are hardening against refugees. There's a lot of xenophobia, and governments sort of paint refugees as terrorists instead of the fact is that refugees run away from terrorists. They are not terrorists themselves. And so what is happening here is there is a sea change among many of the delegates who are attending here. In particular, a number of CEOs from very major multinational organizations are here who are talking about the positive narrative, as they call it, of the refugees. They are saying that helping the refugees is good for their business, not bad for their business. They are talking about the benefits that refugees who are giving a hand up in society, given work, and allowed to have education and healthcare and so forth, end up being very valuable members of their societies.
Now, Lisa, what has the summit heard from leaders of those countries where some of these refugees come from?
Today, during the high-level segment of the forum, there were interventions or speeches, I should say, by the co-conveners of the forum. This includes Ethiopia, Costa Rica, Pakistan, and Turkey, all nations that are absolutely flooded by refugees. And uniformly, they all spoke about the despair in which the refugees are there, and that they are welcoming and will continue to be welcoming to the refugees. However, that it is very difficult for them to support them because they are by and large poor countries, or at least running out of money. And they're very critical of the wealthier countries who are not pulling their share of the burden, who are refusing to resettle refugees more and more, and are not giving the host communities who need the money the support that they so desperately need.
Lisa, very briefly, what do we expect to hear tomorrow?
I think that there will be a lot of speeches, addresses, and also recommendations by humanitarian organizations, UN aid agencies, but also from civic society, from faith-based groups, and more from the political and government leaders in the world. Many of them, probably most of them, will be pledging that indeed they will take more responsibility in terms of sharing the burden, but and also of pledging more money. Unfortunately, from previous examples, the pledges that are made are very encouraging, but after a while, the meeting is over, and not all of the pledges are met, and this is really very sad.
Thank you so much, Lisa. We'll follow up with you.
You're welcome. Bye-bye.
Bye.